Welcome to the November 1st, 2016 regular scheduled meeting of the Davie County Board of Education. At this time, our first item on the agenda is to adopt the agenda, and I will ask for a motion to adopt the agenda. Have that by Mr. Drexler. Do we have a second? Have a second by Ms. Livengood. All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. At this time, if you would, please bow with me for the invocation. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group, nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions that might affect our great county. And continue to remind us that all that we do here today, all that we accomplish is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen. At this time, I will invite the Boy Scout Troop 505 from Center United Methodist Church up to lead us in the pledge.
All right. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. We're glad to have you. At this time, I am asking for a motion to approve the minutes from our regular scheduled meeting in October. Do we have a motion? Ms. Owens is a motion. Do we have a second? Have a second by Mr. Drexler. All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. At this time, we're moving on to important dates, and I have a few that I'll point out quickly. The Board of Commissioners meeting will be next Monday night at 6 o'clock. In their meeting chambers. This board will be having lunch on the 9th, Wednesday the 9th at Davie High School. Then we have our Veterans Holiday on the 11th. And then we have a topping out ceremony at 4 o'clock at the new high school. Very excited about that. Then we have 16th through the 18th. We have our annual school board conference in Greensboro, and then Thanksgiving on the 24th and 25th, and then our next regular scheduled meeting will be in this room on the 6th at 6 o'clock. And I think that's all I need to point out at this point, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Hartness for a superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's great to see everyone here tonight. I want to thank all of you board members who attended the North Carolina School Board's Law Conference a few weeks ago. I enjoyed attending that conference with you, and want to thank our own Jill Wilson and her partner Elizabeth Troutman for great presentations, along with some excellent presentations from other attorneys. Our construction project continues to move along real well. Mr. Moorfield will be giving us an update in a few minutes. But over the past couple of weeks, I've made several site tours. I toured with Commissioner Poindexter and our county finance officer, Robin West, who processes all the checks for paying for the school. We had a nice visit up there one day. And on our last early release day, Mr. Nicholson and I did a tour with department chairs from Davie High. So those teachers and Mr. Nicholson and I spent several hours on the site. It was pretty exciting for them to see all the time that they had spent making recommendations as part of the design and what would go in their classroom to see that come into fruition. So had some good site visits, and it's good to see all the people who are spending just hundreds and hundreds of hours making decisions to make this the best school we could make it, and it coming to life. And speaking of that, Mr. Chairman, you mentioned on November the 15th at 4 o'clock, we will have what is called a topping out ceremony. And we would invite our entire community to come up to the new site of the Davie County High School for a topping out ceremony. And if you don't know what that is, there is a 625-pound, 23-foot beam that will be painted that people will be able to take a Sharpie and write their name on. And at 5 o'clock that day, our steel erector will set that last beam in place, and that will be the last piece of steel in place on the high school site. So this community can be a part of that ceremony. We're real excited about it and hope people will come out. Right after the beam is set, we're going to do some short tours of the high school, the bottom floor. So hope you'll be able to join us. Be on the lookout for a special edition of School Matters this week. And School Matters will be called Our Veterans Matter. And it will be a summary of all the veterans activities that will be going on in our schools leading up to Veterans Day. Our schools do an outstanding job planning activities that help our students understand the importance of freedom, and that freedom came with a price, and recognizing and getting to meet some of our veterans and having them part of some activities on school campuses. So hope you will see that, and you can join some of our students at some of those events. Lastly, I have some fantastic news tonight. There's only 7 more days until there's an election, and I cannot wait when all the negative political ads are gone and all the signs that litter our highways are gone, and we can move on with life and things can hopefully settle down some. But we're excited about that being over next Tuesday. In the meantime, we're having a good time in school, and thank you for coming out to join us when you do, and for all your continued support.
Thank you for that update. Amen, for October the 9th. November the 9th, I apologize. That's right, and we'll go back. At this time, we're moving on to our construction update for the new high school, and I will ask Mr. Moorfield to come up and give us our progress this month.
Good evening. Good to be with you again this afternoon. And if we could dim the lights so we can, very good. Do I need to do something? There we go. I may need some help getting this to presentation mode. I seem to forget from one month to the next. Great. At my age, it's amazing I remember to get here. I want to start out this evening. We've started receiving the ERV units that go on top of the building to provide fresh air for the students and staff. The picture you're looking at is the first part of the large ERV that sits on top of the classroom building. It was kind of a milestone to get this piece of equipment on site, and mainly because once this is installed and operational, we'll be able to start finishes in the building. This is the same unit in all of the pieces that are sitting on top of the classroom building. And it's kind of hard to visualize the size of it, but you can see that 6-foot ladder that's laying on the roof. The whole unit's probably 50 feet long, 18 feet tall, probably 12, 14 feet wide. It's a huge piece of equipment. And we are getting real close to having this piece of equipment operational. And that's exciting because then we'll be able to start doing ceiling tiles, floor finishes, finish paint, those types of things that will bring that classroom tower to a completion date. We're hoping to occupy it with the IT group sometime in February, so we're looking forward to that. And Energy United has installed their 30,000 gallon propane tank at the facility. It doesn't quite look that bad today. They have since painted it and have finished all the piping. The tank was pressure tested yesterday, and we will receive our first load of propane on Friday. So, And the reason for the need for this is because that ERV that we looked at a while ago requires natural gas or propane as the fuel to heat the air coming into the building, which will stabilize the inside air temperature that allow those finishes to start happening. So this is a big moment for us, and kind of a lot of excitement to get this far down the road and be able to turn the air on in the building. And when I saw this the other day in the hallway, I realized that a skilled craftsman was still needed. This gentleman is putting down the marble chips in the hallway in the terrazzo subbase. And after the terrazzo is ground, you realize how well he did his job, because the uniformity of the chips that he's putting in is just spectacular. And I think on the 15th, you'll realize when you see the ground floor terrazzo how great it's going to look. This is the clear story of the media center. And if you'll look closely, there is a gentleman on top of that scaffold painting all of the steel structure, the roof deck, all of those, that exposed structure in the media center. The area around where you see the X bracing will have cowl wall panels that will let in light during the day. And it will be quite spectacular once the interior lighting is completed and the drywall is in place. So this is we're getting there. And during the last few weeks, we have finished paving the student parking lot. We've constructed the restroom concession buildings at the stadium, built most of the dumpster screen wall, finished the masonry and framing at the CTE building. And several areas around the building have been fine graded and seeding, and we have grass growing right now. On the next photo, just shows a lot of window frames. And I need to bring you up to date on the window frames. The windows were put in prior to cleaning the brick on the building. And the brick presented an unusual task for the brick cleaners. They had an unusually difficult time getting the brick clean for whatever reason. And in so doing, they used a product that was not recommended, and it damaged all of the window frames on the classroom tower building. And consequently, we the window frame provider, which is YKK, has basically said, we're not warranting those frames at this point. And those frames have a clear finish over the anodized aluminum and the material that the brick cleaners use to strip some of this off. New Atlantic has given an ultimatum to the insurance company responsible for this product, the insurance company being the masonry insurance company. The end of the day, the last day of October, November the 1st, to bring to the table the corrective procedures that they will use. And we expect that date to float just a little bit as the insurance company and various other parties negotiate how this is going to be repaired. But if the insurance company that's responsible, which is nationwide, if they can't come to an agreement, New Atlantic has assured us that they will replace the window frames that have been damaged, and that we being the school board, will receive a full complement of warranties from the window frame manufacturer, the glazing manufacturer, and the glass provider. We expect the replacement of these frames to take somewhere between 2 to 3 months. but that shouldn't affect our finish schedule since we're not there at that point yet. But I just wanted to let you know that this is an ongoing problem. It doesn't affect anything right now. We still are working diligently to close in the building for HVAC control, and I just wanted you guys to know what was going on. I'm going to leave you with a good picture. Compliments of New Atlantic. They do a flyover every couple of months of the project. And they sent this to me this morning. And you can see the school, the classroom tower, the student parking, the practice field, baseball field, football stadium. And I gotta admit, the football stadium grass looks pretty good. And the middle school. So I just wanted to share this with you, and so you could see a great overview of the school, how it's situated. And if you look closely, you'll notice that we've paved all of the student parking. And some of the grass is growing on the back side of the building. So everything is shaping up quite nicely. Any questions?
I don't particularly have a question, Mr. Moorfield, but this is probably going to be my last time to speak, so I might speak a whole lot tonight. But I just wanted to tell you thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for this school. Thank you for being here at every board meeting to give us these updated presentations, keep everybody in the loop. It really has meant so much, and it's been a pleasure to work with you. So just wanted to say thank you for that.
Thank you, I appreciate that. It has been fun, although it's trying sometimes. Anything else?
Anybody have anything else?
I just deeply appreciate the fact that you are there and you catch these major things that will impact everyone for a long time. And I know you're there bright and early, and we deeply, as Carol said, appreciate the fact that you are on top of everything and you keep everyone going down the same path.
Anything else? I agree. Jim's been a great advocate for this project, and we really appreciate it on site. He certainly has the school system's interest in mind. There's no question about that. I just have one quick question, just for clarification's sake. As they work through changing these window frames out, that's something that they'll work through a classroom, change one out, and I mean, there's no. I guess, and at the end of the day, certainly there's nobody there, so it's not that big a deal. But you'll have the building conditioned, and they'll keep the building closed up. They're not going to go in and take half the window frames out and come back and put half of them in. They've got to take one out, put one in, take one out. And
The glass company is basically expecting that they can do 4 to 5 a day, 4 or 5 a day.
Okay.
And that's probably a couple of classrooms at most.
Okay.
Take one out, put it back in, and then just move themselves around the building. And the reason I say that there's some negotiation going on, it's not clear if every window frame has been damaged in the classroom building. So obviously, everybody's trying to limit their exposure financially. And we expect that to take a few more days to flush out. But, you know, I watched them. I may be responsible because I kept telling them the brick wasn't clean enough.
But
I mean, I don't see it being a problem. We're hoping to have the ERV on and conditioning the building probably first half of November.
okay.
and then it'll go quickly after that.
Okay, that sounds good. I was just, for a point of clarification, I was trying to figure out. And as far as the windows, as far as that point, that negotiation, we'll have assurance through you that the manufacturer, if that window needs to be replaced to have a warranty on it, it'll be replaced. So that's kind of what you're talking about in negotiating and everybody. So that sounds good. Sounds good. Well, again, we really appreciate you advocating for the right thing to happen. We do. All your hard work. Does anybody else have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we're moving on to recognitions, and I will call on Dr. Hartness. We have our 100% Graduation Club recognition.
Mr. Chairman, Board, I get to come over here and do presentations this afternoon. I appreciate that. But first, I want to call up Denise Absher. Denise, would you come up? I had the pleasure of attending a luncheon this past week with Denise and Jara Hahn, one of her teachers at the Early College High School. And I am proud to announce to our community and to the board that the Davie Early College High School was recognized for a 100% cohort graduation rate. This is the 10th year of the early college in Davie County. This is the first time that they have accomplished a 100% graduation rate, and they were recognized in the state for that. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Denise and the staff at the early college for the experience that they provide our students there, and such a wonderful track record, and what a great way to celebrate 10 years with 100% graduation. So, congratulations.
I would like to say on behalf of the board, 10 years ago, it was a dream. And that dream had a lot of conversation, some tears and some heartaches, and then some joyous celebrations. This is the top, 100%. Wow. To everyone, congratulations. Thank you, babe. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you.
And this is not on your agenda, but I'm going to take a few minutes to recognize a lady who means a lot to us and has meant a wonderful amount to this school system. I'll ask Noel to come up with me. So Noel Grady Smith officially retired yesterday, but over the past week we have had several opportunities to recognize her and celebrate this retirement with her that she has earned. We had a really nice reception in this room this afternoon from 3 to 5. Lots of her friends within the school system and people she's worked with that were with her, along with her family that's with her tonight. It's great to see them out tonight. I want to tell you just a few things about Noel. Before joining our team in Davie County Schools, Noel has a very rich background in inspiring and impacting the lives of children. She earned her bachelor's degree at UNC Chapel Hill, Mr. Wallace, and her master's degree at North Carolina A&T. And for 14 years, she and her sister owned and operated their own dance studio. And then she worked with the North Carolina School of the Arts. Noel has received numerous awards throughout her career, and as a teacher, she was once featured also in USA Today. She worked with North Carolina A+ schools and with Winston-Salem Forsyth County schools. And then she saw the light, and she came across the river to Davie County, and she began working with Davie County Schools in July of 2010. For the past several years, Noel has served as our Executive Director of Curriculum and Leadership Development. She has been instrumental in ensuring Davie County Schools remains in the forefront in North Carolina in academic performance. Her work with Read to Achieve camp resulted in a camp like no other camp in the state of North Carolina. She molded her extensive background in the arts with quality teaching and learning and reading, and we have seen outstanding results. Noel has nurtured and established strong relationships with our community foundations and local business partners that has brought thousands of dollars into this school system that would not have been possible without her support. And our teachers and our students would not have the resources they have today without Noel. She has been a leader in our state in implementing the new teacher evaluation instruments with fidelity. Noel and the curriculum team have developed a model of curriculum support that provides our teachers opportunities for professional development that are second to none. I could go on and on about how Noel has had a positive impact on our school system. She has been a professional colleague, a friend, a calm voice of reason, and a strong advocate for children. And I want to personally thank her husband Frank and her family for being here tonight and the way you have supported her throughout her career and allowed her so many opportunities to impact the lives of others. Noel, we're fortunate to have had you on our team the last 6 years. We thank you for your service. We wish you much continued success, great health, much happiness in the retirement that you have earned. Please join me in congratulating Noel Grady Smith.
I had a brief meeting, thank you all so much, with Dr. Hartness yesterday. And the best thing that I could tell him is that when you are allowed to stretch your wings and encouraged, then you'll fly. And I feel that when I came to Davie County, I was given permission to be who I am and to work with wonderful people and to just go arm in arm into a great adventure. This is an unusual place you have here. This is not found just anywhere. And I want you to treasure it, and I want you to move forward with all the positive energy and intelligence and heart that you have. It's such a privilege to have been part of it for the last 6 years. I just want to thank you for that.
Noel, on behalf of the board, I'd just like to say thank you, and we appreciate everything you've done for us. And you certainly have flown, and we appreciate you taking us along with you. We do. And again, thank you to your family for supporting you in that, and we appreciate everything. And have a wonderful retirement. And we hope we'll see you around some. And congratulations to the early college. That's an awesome accomplishment. It takes a lot of time, and we appreciate all the effort that's been put into that. At this time, we're moving on to the consent agenda, and I will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda. I have a motion by Mr. Drexler. Do we have a second? Have a second by Ms. Livengood. All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. At this time, we're moving to the business items, or the business item on our agenda, and I will turn it over to Dr. Hartness to talk to us about selecting architect for the demolition project at the existing high school.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Board, you have been through this process before. As you know, we submitted and we put out on the street an RFQ for professional services, architectural services to coordinate the demo of the oldest buildings on the campus of the current Davie County High School. As you know, we have that as part of our budget of the overall project of building a new school was removing the oldest buildings on the campus, and we need architectural services to coordinate that, to coordinate utility closures and reconnections so that the buildings that are remaining on the campus that will be used will be usable. And so you have 2 responses to the RFQ from 2 architectural firms. And the instructions are the board needs to select an architect to perform these types of services based on their qualifications, not on their price structure, but based on their qualifications. Fortunately, you have experience as a board with both of these architectural firms, both of which are qualified. So at this time, Mr. Chairman, I'll just turn it over to the board for any questions, discussion, and for you all to make a decision as to who you would like for us to contract with for these architectural services, and I would ask the board, once you make that selection, to authorize me and staff to enter into a contract or negotiate a contract to bring back to the board for those services.
Thank you, Dr. Hartness. So before us tonight, we need to make a choice between these two architectural firms. I trust that everyone's had time to review the RFQs that were available to us back a few weeks ago, and just want to open the floor up for discussion. Do we have any comments, or what's the feel of the board?
Four of you here have experience with using both companies in the past and successful jobs with both. Three of us, well, all seven of us have dealt with New Atlantic, which is the latest one. Not New Atlantic.
Walter Robbs. Yep.
So I'm looking to the four of you to give some word to the others of us, the young ones, newer ones on the board, some information about history and those kinds of things. As far as I'm concerned, both groups are qualified. We've used them both in the past, but I don't know what the history, I don't know the information about the history.
Right. What I know about the history of both firms, we know what Walter Robbs has done. They're working on this project now, and they worked on some other new schools for us. I know that John Fuller, which is the other person that submitted the RFQ, he has worked extensively at that existing campus, doing renovation work and different things. Also, he did all the renovation work at the Coolamy cafeteria, has done several projects. He's handling the project that we're doing here now, the window replacement, the HVAC work. The school system's had good experiences with both of these guys. They're both very qualified and good reputable architectural firms.
Well, I'd like to see us try to use Fuller. I mean, they're local. They're a Davie County company, and I think we, as folks have said, we've had good experience. And to me, they employ Davie County people, and they're part of this county and community, and I'd like to see us give them the job or negotiate
Right.
with them.
I agree with Steve. Looking at the experience that they've had at Davie High School, it is extensive, and they have a feel for that property and what took place there. And I would agree that Fuller is probably one of the choices, top choice for myself.
And I'm going to agree as well. That would be my first choice. I think John Fuller has an investment in this community.
Absolutely.
I think that would be a very wise decision on our part.
Have any other comments, or are we ready to have a motion? I will, somebody want to make a motion to?
I'll put that in the form of
Okay.
a motion that we allow Dr. Hartness and staff to negotiate with Fuller
Okay.
for this contract.
That sounds good. So we have a motion on the floor to negotiate, allow Dr. Hartness and staff to negotiate with the Fuller architectural firm, John Fuller, to handle the demolition planning for the existing Davie County High School. Do we have a second? We have a second by Ms. Owens. Do we have any other discussion? Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you for, thanks for that work in reviewing those RFQs and moving through that. Appreciate that. At this time, we're moving on to the public address to the board, and I'll turn it over to Ms. Wilson.
Board members, in light of the fact that Game 6 starts tonight, there are no public comments because everybody wants to go home and watch.
We always get a good baseball reference out of Ms. Wilson. At this time, we're moving on to committees and staff reports, and I will turn it over to Mr. Wallace to talk to us about merit-based bonus plans.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Board, if you'll see, you have an attachment there of a merit-based bonus draft plan. That plan was put together with input from administrators, principals, and as indicated there, the leadership team. And I will just go through a couple of the highlights here. Of course, I'm sure you've had a chance to read through that. But the legislation provides funding for the 16-17, in the 16-17 state budget for a one-time merit-based bonus to be given to state-funded school-based positions. No funds were provided by the state for the locally paid employees. But as you can see there, as part of this plan, Davie County Board of Education will fund merit-based bonuses for locally paid employees through local current expense funds, as they're listed there. The one-time bonus is, of course, not across the board. It has to be merit-based, and which, of course, we've got a eligibility list here for particular employees, and it is school-based administrators, non-certified personnel are eligible. Central office-based administrators will not be eligible under our plan that we're proposing or for information tonight. Also, employees that are full-time or part-time, full-time will be awarded a bonus if they're eligible based upon will be prorated. You can see there also the performance is one of the criteria for the bonus. And you can see if they've met or meets expectations for their job performance or meets and exceeds. You can see the earn either 1 or 2 points there. Also, there cannot be any disciplinary actions in their personnel file over the past year and a half for the 15-16 school year through up until the bonus is paid. Also, another piece of criteria is longevity. Again, if the person meets the previous performance and no disciplinary actions in the past year and a half, and then you can see how points are awarded for 1 to 10 years, 1 point, and then so forth. An employee could earn up to as many as 5 points, anywhere from 2 to 5, and then they would be awarded the bonus, the amount based upon the points earned. Transfers will be employees who transferred to the new position within Davie County Schools will receive their bonus based on their evaluation for the job or position they held during the 15-16 school year. And some of those might be a little bit unique, but we will take care of those on an individual basis. The amount of bonuses, their superintendent shall ensure that the total amount of funds awarded to the bonus, do not exceed the amount of funds provided by the state for the purpose of providing merit-based bonuses and the amount budgeted in the Davie County Board of Education local current expense fund, and then again, federal grants, child nutrition, preschool program. So again, I'll be glad to try to address any questions tonight, but we're presenting this for you as information, and would like for you to adopt a plan for us at the next board meeting in December. Yes, sir.
If you did the calculations today, is there enough funding provided by those 3 funding sources that all staff would get what is proposed in this plan?
Yes. Are you asking if we have the funds to be able to? Yes. And again, you used the word all, but of course, you mean all that meet this criteria, qualified, yes. Yes, sir.
Have any other questions or comments? Thank you, Jeff. we'll review that and come back in December and be ready to act on it. At this time, I'm gonna take a moment and veer from the agenda. We're gonna move into closed session here in a few minutes, but I wanted to give, we've got a couple members that are gonna be rolling off, and I don't know if they want to have anything to say before we go into closed session. I was going to give everybody an opportunity to make their comments.
You may go first.
You're younger, you go ahead.
Other than sitting beside of Carol Ivan for 6 years, it's been great. But no, seriously, I do have mixed emotions over the. But basically, I talked to Dr. Hartness about this a little bit yesterday. Over the 6 years, it hadn't always been easy. We hadn't always agreed, and really that's good. I believe there's an old saying: if two people agree on everything, one of them's not necessary. So, but you know, it's been challenging. We talked a little bit about earlier. We've done a lot of laughing, you know, and I just, you know, encourage each board member, as I never will forget when Rick Ellis and Terry Reniger went off the board. If they was a fighter, Rick Ellis was a fighter. If he believed in something, he did not back down, and that's what I'd encourage, you know, the new folk, the two new gentlemen that'll be coming on, along with the two that'll remain. Hey, if you believe in something, stand up, and you know, and don't forget that you know that you represent the people of this county, and it's a wonderful place to live. It's a wonderful place to be. And other than going off this board, I'm retiring from work December the 1st, so I got a lot to look forward to. So anyway, but thanks.
Well, I really wasn't prepared. I thought we were going to get to speak next at our last meeting, but no, I might speak at both. No, I certainly agree with Steve, although I have enjoyed sitting next to Steve. It is, this is actually, I think I've done this for 12 and a half years, and it's an honor. It really is an honor. You get to meet wonderful, wonderful people, teachers, administrators, students, parents, members of the community, and that has been probably the best part of this. No, we always haven't agreed, and that is a good thing. That really is, because you learn, you grow from that. You need to stand by, you need to be convicted and have principles and values and all of that, and that's very, very important. But I think you can respectfully disagree. And it has been a privilege. I think I've worked with 19 different board members, maybe it was 21, and 5 different superintendents. So that's been a real learning experience for me, and I've treasured just so much of it. And I'll miss being with everybody. I'll find another way to serve your community. So many of you find different ways to serve, and that's what this is. This is a way you serve your community. You find a way. You're a volunteer fireman. You work for the EMS. You go down and you do other things, but that's what this is. This is a service, and I think every person I have worked with looks at it that way. To keep this light, I have to mention my young people on here, because I work with old people, even though I'm older than him. But I know. But what's been kind of neat for me is, again, I started, I think it was 2002. But Wendy, Chad, Clinton, they won't mind me saying this. I've known them since they were little. They were like 5. Clint was my hopeful. I hope nobody's listening to this, including his wife and my daughter. But he was my hopeful future son-in-law when he was about 14, 15 years old. Chad, nobody will hear that because I won't leave this room. I know. And I love my son-in-law, and he loves his wife, and so that's all good, but we just joke about that. Wendy and goes back, she's been at my house when she was a little girl. I've known her and I've watched her grow up and raise great kids. Chad, I've watched since he was 5. He lived down the street from me. And what a great opportunity that has been for me to see this pass on and to see this new generation take over and be so involved and care so much about not only their children. Sorry, Clint, I think I really embarrassed you. But he knows how much I care about him. And my son-in-law. I love my son-in-law. Today is their anniversary. They've been married 19 years. So let me throw that out there too. Yeah. But it's been just a great experience. I couldn't say thank you enough to all the people that I've worked with, Dr. Hartness and the other superintendents. So it's just, I thank the community so much for their support, and I will miss seeing everybody, but I might be sitting out there and coming back. One other thing just to add, I noticed this is, I think Dr. Hartness said this election is about ready to come to an end, and I know that we're all ready to come for this to happen. But we do have some great candidates running for the Board of Education, and that makes me feel really good. I know we have Paul who's staying, and that's awesome, and I know Wendy is also running. We have Colonel Hales, who is with us this afternoon, and we have Dub Potts, who is also running for the Board of Education. So, this is going to be in great hands, and that's a good thing to know, too, and I wanted to mention that. Also, just to real quick, say congratulations to our football team. My gosh, how awesome is that? We're just doing wonderful. So I will be quiet now. If I think of anything else, I'll say it next month. But I probably I told you I hadn't prepared. If I had thought that through, I might not have said that way. But I'm going to be honest with you, Clint, and. Okay, we'll move on, and thank you again. Everybody have a great evening.
Can I have another 10 minutes? By the way, I did coach Wendy in Little League softball.
Well, Carol, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I would just like to say, and we're moving on, but I'd like to thank both of you. You both have poured a lot of time and a lot of heart and a lot of soul into this serving on this board. And no, we haven't always agreed, but I completely agree that's a good thing. We all have our own ideas, and that's what it's about: it's coming together and working together and making all that work. And but I know at the end of the day, we all love this community and believe in it and want to do what's best for it. But we appreciate everything you guys have done. At this time, if we don't have anything else,
Carol and Steve, both of you, I want to thank you for coaching me along on how to understand our role and our job. I'm serious. I've had individual conversations with both of them at different times about different things just to get their perspective individually, and then we have to come back and make a decision as a full board. But thank you very much.
At this time, I'll ask for a motion to go into closed session to preserve the attorney-client privilege pursuant to the North Carolina General Statutes listed on our agenda to discuss personnel matters protected by state law and to discuss student matters made confidential by general statutes and FERPA. Do we have a motion? We have a motion by Mr. Drexler. Do we have a second? We have a second by Ms. Horn. All in favor? Motion carries 7-0. We're now in closed session.